getting a lot of reaction after saying he used to drive an 18-wheeler. During a visit to a Mack Truck assembly plant yesterday. Well, the White House is struggling to defend the claim since driving a big rig requires a special license for one, and well, there is nothing in Biden's history to suggest he's ever actually done this. And this is hardly the first time the president has been accused of embellishing, we'll call it, his past with some tall tales. Some of his biggest whoppers, and I'm not talking about the cheeseburger, include stories about Nelson Mandela, an Amtrak conductor, and his time back when he was a lifeguard at a Delaware pool confronting a man by the name of Corn Pop.
This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island. When he came to the United States, and I said, Mr. President, he leaned, I said, thank you. Thank you for trying to come and see me.
And a guy named Angelo Negri came up, he goes, Joey, baby, grabs my cheek like that. And I thought they were going to shoot him. I really did. I said, no. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors.
I mean, wow. All right, I want to start with the trucker. Ben, I'll start with you first, I guess. So the White House has come out. I don't know if they can necessarily defend his comments because they never happened. So they can't come out and be like, sorry, our president actually made that up. But he did, in fact, ride in the passenger seat of an 18-wheeler. So that makes him a truck driver, no?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's all the same. Well,
I've ridden as a passenger on an airplane.
The thing about Biden
I'm
that I may enjoy the most
an airline
of all the things
pilot
on earth is just his unbelievable allegiance to his secret life of Walter Mitty-esque fantasies. I really do enjoy that. The whole Smokey and the Bandit of it. Like, it just makes his life so much more interesting than what his life actually has been, which is being an extremely boring career politician in Washington, D.C., who fibs to his constituents for like 30 years. That's really a boring life. And so I kind of like his fantasies better than the realities that he actually, I mean, what's he going to talk about? That time that he was in the back room and talked to the boring senator and then did a boring thing?
Morgan, when you do story time at night before, your baby's bedtime, it's fun, right? Like sometimes we read out of a book, sometimes we improv, sometimes my 8-year-old daughter, I'll just give her a couple topics and she makes stuff up before bed. This string of sound bites were like amazing bedtime stories. I'm actually going to use them tonight.
You know, Julie, I think you're being mean to the president. I think it's quite possible that Corn Pop actually taught him how to drive the 18-wheeler. Right?
Oh,
Maybe
okay. So he was never
stories.
actually a lifeguard, but he was an 18-wheeler in Corn Pop in Delaware.
You never know. Corn Pop might also be an 18-wheeler
I didn't put those two
driver.
together, but see, there's that interesting creative storytelling that I apparently do not possess. Kennedy, I mean, is there a hint of truth to any of these stories, and then he just kind of confuses them all?
Yeah, so that seems to be the common thread, is that there are elements that he kind of remembers somewhere in the ether a few centuries ago, and then he loosely cobbles them together and then just sort of barfs out a bunch of lies, a bunch of anecdotes which feel good. And that's not what scares me about the Biden presidency, is his penchant for fibbery. It's the fact that he's not even running anything, and we don't know who is running stuff. Corn Pop may have existed, with he and his gang of Romans and their straight razors, because it was before the time of guns, before we had dirt. But it's the committee that tries to put a lid on him. Those are the ones that I fear.
Emily, he made the comments, apparently he said that he was a passenger in that 18-wheeler back in 1973. So, I mean, that was a way back. So I guess we can give him a little bit of credit there. I mean, that's like 47 years ago, right?
I mean, I forget stuff all the time, but I feel like, A, I'm not president, and B, I'm not basing really important things on those statements. What, too, is so ridiculous to me is, when that whole South Africa commentary that he made, I lived there for a little while, and the thought, first of all, it's Robben Island, not Robbins Island, as he called it. Soweto is almost 800 miles away as well from Robben Island, and so the fact that, if you actually were there and had what is, frankly, a sobering experience at a minimum. The fact that you would still confuse it, make it about yourself, and forget all those details. This guy's just ridiculous. I think, I'm literally counting the days until 2024.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.